So when we are very young, we don't yet have language for these emotions that are chronically popping up inside of us. And it's the job of our parents or our caregivers to help us get the proper language for what we're feeling and also help us understand how to express our feelings properly. So this is the process of co-regulation. When we're co-regulating with someone, we're kind of showing somebody our insides in an unfiltered way, and we're receiving feedback from them on how they're making sense of our internal experience. And this is very important, particularly when we're young. Because when I am 2 years old and I don't know what this feeling in my body is, whatever name my parent consistently gives that feeling is what I will come to know it as. So this emotion kind of rises up inside of me, let's say it's sadness, and my caregiver looks at it and they go, hey, that's sadness. And now I have a name for this feeling. And already naming it might start to change the feeling a little bit. Maybe it feels kind of looser, and I have less anxiety around it just based on the fact that it's being seen and acknowledged. And then, in a healthy caregiving environment, the next step is the caregiver tells the child, here's what we do when we feel sad. So here are some actions we can take in the real world that will allow that emotion to dissipate over time. And then we return to a state of regulation. Your parent goes, hey, I notice you feel sad. When we feel sad, sometimes we cry. Sometimes we reach out and talk to someone. Sometimes we give ourselves a bit of a break. And then we also figure out how to do things differently so we don't feel sad like this next time we're in the same situation. So now what the child has is both a proper name for their emotion and a bunch of strategies they can turn to for managing that feeling. And this becomes the way that we self-regulate as we grow up. So that child grows into an adult who, when they feel sadness popping up, is able to name for themselves, hey, I'm feeling sadness, right? And already that starts to change. I guess I could take a little break and have a cry. I guess I could go talk to a friend. I guess I could look at what led to this feeling and figure out what I can do to make sure that it doesn't happen again like this in the future. And now there are these strategies that allow the direct experience of the emotion to dissipate and change and dissolve back into a regulated state. So this is how early, healthy co-regulation becomes a clean and easy experience of self-regulation as an adult. Secure adults who have accurate names and strategies for their emotions become low-level dysregulated several times a day, just like everybody does. But the difference is that they're usually able to quickly identify what they're feeling and take the appropriate actions to resolve or express or change that feeling and return back to a regulated state. Now, toxic shame enters the scene initially when early experiences of co-regulation go wrong. And this doesn't have to be malicious. Often, the reason that early co-regulation experiences go wrong is not necessarily because the parent was abusive or terrible, but because they were just a little bit emotionally illiterate themselves.